I'm very disappointed. The comments that I've been getting on these videos have all been very reasonable. Some even praising my choices. Come on, people! This is the internet. I want to see people casting aspersions on me for my heritage. I want to see wild accusations with no grounding in reality whatsoever. I want you to pull up the keyboard on your phone and call me a What is wrong with you people? If I wanted reasonableness, I would do this presentation at the local WI. Well, actually, I asked and they called me a and told me to off. That organisation has changed a lot. Anyway, let's get on with it. There is no question that there is an inverse correlation between how interesting a theme is and how interesting the actual game is. Uwe Rosenberg has ploughed this furrow for years. Growing beans isn't thrilling. Neither are the privations of a medieval farm, and if I wanted to get all hot under the collar of an evening, my first choice wouldn't be monastery administration. Still, we have Aura at Labora, where we take on the roles of monastery heads, trying to make our monastery run the best, and it's bloody brilliant. This is why all those people who moan about the art in games, and most of the art they love is shite, by the way, and the presentation and how many marital aids come in the box, are all talking out of their arses. Games live in the mechanisms. What neurons those mechanisms massage, what synapses burst into life, and stick me in an MRI when I'm playing Aura at Labora and my brain will be going off like the nugget in Reno on the 4th of July, and I speak from personal experience. The challenge of maximising your resources, the brilliant effects that the buildings release, that incredibly innovative resource wheel, this all makes Aura at Labora a joy to play. One criticism I have is that it may be a bit more solvable than other Uwe Rosenberg games, but it's still great. You don't need your games to be a 14-year-old boy's fantasy for them to be amazing. Uwe laughs in your face, you bloody children. I'm choosing this version rather than the original Battlestar Galactica because you can get this one without running for president, so that you can start a meme coin, so that you can fleece your deeply misguided followers, so you can rug pull just to afford the bastard thing. This is mechanically identical to BSG, and although it's a little wonky, you can't argue with the effect that this game has on the players around the table. The beauty of BSG was how it evoked the paranoia that permeated the first season of that show. For the fans of the TV show, and if you aren't, why bloody not, will lament that the rights have been lost because it so perfectly encapsulated what the show was about. And so their enjoyment will be a little tarnished by this Cthulhu redressing. But give it 5 minutes, when someone does something weird or plays badly, and you'll be thrown into that carousel of accusation, recrimination, resentment and denial all over again. This is a game that produces experience, and in bucket loads. It's tense, it's anger-making, and it's thoroughly fun. It's a bit disappointing that it's not Battlestar Galactica anymore, sure, but it's still rambunctious, and what sitting around a table should be about. Never let it be said that I'm not a cantankerous old twat, but this one is my favourite game from Leader Games. I like it better than their second best title, Root. I certainly like it more than Oath, which is an intellectual hand job in a box, and I like it much, much more than the most average game in the history of mankind to provoke rectal prolapses, Arcs. This is a game where the asymmetry is taken to its most absurd conclusions, and yet it works. No one follows the same rules, we just share a board, and depending on what player count you play, the character of the game totally changes. At 2, it feels like an apprehensive abstract game, each movement being tirelessly deliberated over. At full player count, it's chaotic and confrontational. You find yourself being given whiplash and having to turn your head so many times because you're being attacked from all angles. Rarely do games lean into their conceits super hard, but Vast takes asymmetry and turns it up to ear-bleeding levels. This game wasn't hugely successful, but if you can give it a go, I highly recommend it. It's bloody fantastic.
All right there, how's it going? This is Bob, Ben's brother. You knows it's me, see? Because I wears the glasses. He don't wear the glasses. If you watches the videos, like, he don't wear the glasses, I wears the glasses. Anyway, I'm here. All right, I'll get on with it. Bloody hell. He's angry today. Anyway, I'm here to talk about the sponsor of this video. They're Grand Gamers Guild, are they? Award-winning Grand Gamers Guild. They won the bloody Kennerspiel des Jahres. I can say that, weil ich Deutsch spreche. You know what I mean? I did it for a week in school, and now I'm fluent. Soll ich das Rest das Video auf Deutsch machen oder was? See? I speaks it. Any road. So, yeah, anyway, they does, what does they do? They does, all right! Endeavour, Deep Sea, won the Kennerspiel des Jahres. They does, oh, bloody, what else do they do? Oh, I bloody forgot now. Oh, I'm going to look on the shelf. Endangered, they does that. They does the Artemis Project. And they does, oh, those 12 guard escape games. I'm a speaker. Any road. So you wants to go to grandgamersguild.com and you wants to log on and buy all their stuff, don't you? And they sponsors the podcast. Alright, so I got an admission to make. When I was filming the video the other day with Ben, alright, I'll apologise. Well, it got quite bright and I didn't affect the camera settings. So the rest of this video is quite bright. I'm very sorry about that. And I want to do it again, like. And you'll enjoy the video because the writing's alright and the speaking's alright. Just a bit bright. And I'll put some pictures in. Anyway, I'm very sorry. But, you know, Grand Gamers Guild, light videos, Bob out! Power to the Peopoly!
Now, I don't play with myself very much. I've already done that gag. Anyway, look at me. You know I like a wank a lot. I got this one when something happened a couple of years ago. Remember? When we all had to stay indoors, wear masks to go outside, and a load of people, a huge percentage of who are alive today because of the jabs they were given as a baby, decided they knew more than epidemiologists, and they got together to shout nonsense. Still, life is about the friends we made along the way, and I hope that some of them got laid on the back of their insanity. I was alone at this time, and this game got me through some pretty bloody long nights, along with the zinc deficiency. This is one of the games where you just roll dice for everything, and usually that drives me nuts. But this one tells such a fabulous story. It ramps up in such a deliberate and intelligent way. It's full of stand-up moments and holds your attention through its 2-hour playtime. Of course, I haven't played it since that time because I can go outside now. But if you want an immersive and engrossing solo experience, you could do a lot worse than Nemo's War. It works, and it works well. When I first played this one, it blew my tiny mind. This is a card game where you don't play your cards. It also introduced me to multi-use cards, but not in that way that multi-use cards are usually multi-use. In Coup, they are your lives, but they're also your identity. The wonderful thing here, though, is that this is a game that leverages the judicious lie. Knowing when to drop untruth is the key here. Counting on the credulity of the people around the table is the key here. Ricky Tata has designed a couple of fantastic games, and this is the best one. It's so simple and so complicated at the same time. This is because you're not really playing the game, but you're playing the people you're playing with. And people, well, they're bloody complicated. They zig when they should zag. They conform to your preconceived notions about them, but a second later than they should. This is why people are great fun, and it's games like Coup that brings out that deeply satisfying chaos. If you want to play a brilliant bluffing game, play this one. No one really talks about it anymore, but seeing the amount of copies it shifts at the game shop that I work at, I can tell you it's still bloody popular, and it should be, because it's great. Stefan Feld is one of the greatest designers to have graced this hobby, and this is one of his best games. It's so low on this list because I just don't play it enough. There is a constant swill pipe of new mediocrity slushing into my purview every week, and so I leave the greats on the shelf. This is a game from that brilliant period of the late 2000s when the game was all, just before Kickstarter ruined the design process. Castles of Burgundy is a game where your simple action rumbles through the game state, and every second you're gripped. Great Eurogames dazzle with the intricacy of their mechanisms and the dullness of their theme, and Castles of Burgundy is no exception. Let's not kid ourselves here. This is the crew with a big white beard and an orc strapped to the front. Nevertheless, there is so much that is beguiling about this one. One of the great innovations of this century is the cooperative trick taker, and this does it beautifully. There is the way that characters are introduced as the game progresses, the obvious knowledge on the part of the designer of the source material, and the challenge it gives you. Usually, I like my co-ops to be super difficult to win, but I like that this one only offers a mild challenge because I want to discover what mechanism is going to try and evoke the Barrow Downs or the Prancing Pony. This is a co-op that is collegiate and shows great respect to a brilliant book. I was surprised that this was as good as it was, and I've enjoyed every play I've had of it immensely. I also love the stained glass art that does such a great job of drawing you in. If you like Tolkien, get this one. It's delightful. This one is not delightful. Like nature, it is red in branch and root. Don't let the wonderful bucolic art fool you either. This game looks gorgeous, but it's a bastard. A simple, spatial card game. It plays smoothly and is wonderfully tense. What I love about Arboretum is that your ability to score suits is dependent on what your opponents have in their hand. So you can hold back cards to jam a branch into the spokes of those bastards around the table. This creates the best tension. For whatever you build, there is always this worry that it'll all be for naught, as someone will swoop in and gazump you. The more I play games, the more I realise that I adore games that are mean and contentious. I don't want cosy, I want malicious, and for all of its beauty, like the natural order, Arboretum is mean, brutal and homicidal. I love it. Tony Boydell needs to publish more games. This is an indisputable scientific fact. Snowdonia is his most well-known game, and it's a train game that's not quite a train game, and it's a worker placement game that is like no other worker placement game you've ever played. Like Tony himself, it is externally gentle and parochial, but dig a little deeper though, and there is a mischievous delight in being mean and contentious. This is a wonderful medium-weight Eurogame that shows all of the sharp little teeth that is Tony's trademark as a designer. It's also masterful, like Tony, beautifully balanced and lasts just the right amount of time. In this way, I've heard, it differs greatly from its designer. This keeps getting republished for a reason, and that is because it's just so bloody good. You have to give Snowdonia a try. When it comes to auction games, no one is better than Knizia, and this is from his classic period. Originally Traumfabrik, where you were bidding to win Golden Age Hollywood stars, the theme shift to B-movie horror is far more gripping and apt. That you're grubbing around on almost no budget, trying to base a story on what you can cobble together is brilliant. But it's the intuitive nature of Knizia when he's at its best that really shines, and Nightmare Productions is no exception. This one just flows so smoothly, the incentives are so clear, and the balance of the game so perfect. When Knizia is on form too, his games are riotous fun and highly thematic, and Nightmare Productions are all of these things. Knizia has a reputation for a reason, and it is games like Nightmare Productions that have caused this reputation. Because it's brilliant. So, thank you for watching, and thanks in advance for all the abuse. It really means a lot. You can join the best Discord in gaming, subscribe to the Patreon, and find a link to my award-avoiding podcast below. Also, bloody subscribe! It only takes a second to click that button. Right, I'm off to start a fight club. Masks and learn to read. More Than Oath, which is an fuck me! Ah! You could do a lot worse than Nemo's world. Ooh. A sentence before the end. Are your arms all right? Amount of copies it shifts on I wrote on the game shop that I'm working at. But seeing the amount. I can't read. Talking to the camera, because I'm really cool. You can see me, I'm not a fool. Everybody loves me, except all the birds. I am Ben, I don't smell like turds. I'm looking into the camera, right into your face. I know you all want to kiss me and touch me in my secretive place, but you can't 'cause I'm not in the room with you. I am on your screen in your bedroom, so you know what to do. Yank it off! Yank it off!